So we are on Rivera Drive here in Upper Hastings Ranch, and again, as I mentioned minutes ago, just the winds continue. This is such a devastating situation. I've been in this immediate area as a resident for just about 10 years. I've never had winds like this here, so this is just a really tough event. This home on Rivera Drive, obviously you can see it is a complete loss. This is the second home that we've seen. There's now a third one right here up the street. You can see the resources here on the street. We had LA County firefighters that are responding, and I believe there's a resident right up here who is not evacuated. They were using their hose minutes ago. They're waving me down. Hi there. That's fine. You decided not to leave.
I know I'm not supposed to be here, but this is my parents' home.
I know the feeling.
And they just lost. They got canceled from their fire insurance. So they're dealing with this. They're 90 years old. And through the state of California, because of this, they're 90 years old. That they've lived in this house for 75 years, and they've had the same insurance, and these insurance people decided to cancel their fire. And we're going through this, and it just happened, and they have no fire insurance. So thank you, California insurance companies, supporting residents who pay taxes and love California, and they wonder why people leave California.
First and foremost, you did get your parents out safely.
I live in Sierra Madre. My parents are in Sierra Madre, but...
And now you know that it is under evacuation as well, north of Sierra Madre Boulevard.
Yeah, I snuck here. You know, there's a will, there's a way. Probably shouldn't do it, but you know what? Under the circumstances, send me to jail. That's fine.
It is unbelievable what's happening here to the neighbors. Your parents' house is still standing. You had a hose. You're doing what you can.
I mean, I have a hose. It doesn't compare to these beloved neighbors that I've known. I was born and raised in this house, and I live in Sierra Madre, and I'm now 62 years old. And this is the house I was born and raised in, and I've never moved out of Pasadena, Sierra Madre, Hastings Ranch.
I know people are dipping in and out of our coverage as we speak to you. Let's have my photographer Romeo pan right over there to where we were and what's happening across the street. When you see that of your neighbors' houses, what are you thinking?
There's no words to even describe how heartbreaking. That's a life. That's your entire life. You don't get that back. The memories are gone. I hope they're alive.
It seems like most everybody has evacuated. I've lived in the general area for just about 10 years. I've never seen winds like this. Have you?
I remember probably 11 years ago. Can we go over here? The wind is hurting my eyes. I don't have glasses. There was a bad wind before, but there were no fires. So when you add the component of fire and the wind, I mean, how do you win that? No, I've never seen a firestorm like this. This is like Paradise, California. If you drive through Hastings Ranch and you go up to the top, it's an inferno.
And this community, specifically Upper Hastings, it is so tight-knit. We just got finished with the holiday light display.
Yes, and that's a tradition that is lovely, you know, and we're starting a new year, 2025, and how terrible. This is the worst thing you could wish in someone's life aside from death.
You're here now. When do you leave? Do you stay all night? What's your plan?
My brother is around here somewhere. I think he's in the backyard. My plan, I don't know what my plan. I don't really have a plan. My emotions are my plan.
You're doing whatever you can. Again, as I walked up to you, you had the garden hose.
It's on. I put it down. I thought because you're lucky enough to have the fire close, I thought potentially you were firefighters, so I was going to share my story so that this house would be saved if necessary. You know.
Well, let me tell you, it does help for people who aren't here to know what's happening. So you sharing that story, it does a service. I came up to you without even asking your name.
My name is Lynn Levin Guzman. This is the Levin household. I'm a nurse for over 30 years in emergency room. I deal with fire all the time and firefighters. And this situation here, luckily, people got out because those are my patients. The people who are not so fortunate to get out.
As you mentioned, let's just hope everyone's okay. Lynn, I'm going to let you get back to it. And for you taking the time, we thank you. To your parents, we wish them the best as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Again, that was Lynn. God bless you as well. Watch your footing there. Staying here at their home, the family home here on Rivera Drive. This house, a total loss. There's one just south of there fully burning. And now two more. So that's a total of 4 homes that I've seen here on Rivera Drive. As I send it back to you, there's Lynn again with the hose. She's using a garden hose, getting the awnings, getting the roof of the house, doing anything she can. We say that as the embers are blowing directly on us here in the Upper Hastings Ranch community. It is really tough to see, knowing that we're not done yet. These winds are going to continue. It is just about midnight, and the winds, the intensity, the peak of them, they're forecasted to continue through at least 5 a.m. as far as the peak intensity. That's what we've been told. We'll send it back to you at the desk.
Mark, she makes a great point, and one that we have not had the opportunity to talk about. I feel for her, Lynn. Lynn Levin and her parents, who are 90 years old. So many people have lost their fire insurance this past year or so with a rash of fires going through California. She's sitting there doing the best she can to save her parents' home. Tell me, as best you can, what is the address, just in case a firefighter is watching this broadcast and might be able to get a unit up there. What is the address of that house?
Yeah, it is 1470 Rivera, 1470 Rivera. So we're here on the 1400 block, and you have those 4 neighboring houses that are a total loss at this point. So she's here, her brother's here, and you know that there's other, let me tell you, the majority of the homes in this community are still standing. We drove past many on the lower side that are still standing, but the night is young.
Absolutely, a long way to go, and a courageous woman at that, and she does bring up a great point that we should talk a whole lot more about, and that is the fact that so many people are now uninsured when it comes to a fire. Mark, we'll check back with you in Hastings Ranch in a little while.